As a urologist with over 2 decades of experience, I've seen countless cases of prostate issues, most of which could have been mitigated, delayed, or in some cases, avoided entirely. One particular culprit keeps showing up again and again in the lives of my older male patients. It's not some rare disease or obscure medical anomaly. No, the biggest offender inflaming prostates in men over 60 is something most of them consume every day without a second thought: processed sugar. Yes, sugar. I know it might sound overly simplistic, but let me explain. The connection between excessive sugar intake and chronic inflammation is well documented in medical literature. When you consume high levels of refined sugar, your body reacts with an inflammatory response. This isn't just about swollen joints or bloated bellies. Chronic inflammation wreaks havoc at a cellular level, and one of the most sensitive areas it affects in older men is the prostate gland. The prostate is a small walnut-shaped gland that plays a vital role in male reproductive health. It sits just below the bladder and surrounds the urethra. As men age, the prostate naturally enlarges, a condition known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH. While this enlargement is often non-cancerous, it can cause significant discomfort, frequent urination, difficulty starting or stopping urine flow, and the nagging feeling that you never fully emptied your bladder. When you add inflammation to an already enlarged prostate, you intensify every symptom. The gland becomes more irritated, more sensitive, and more swollen. And that inflammation? It's heavily exacerbated by a modern Western diet rich in processed foods, sugary beverages, baked goods, and high fructose corn syrup. One of my longtime patients, Mr. Graham, is a textbook case. At 67, he complained of increased nighttime urination, up to 5 times a night, along with weak urine flow and occasional pelvic discomfort. Like many, he attributed it to just getting older. But upon reviewing his daily habits, I discovered his morning ritual consisted of coffee sweetened with 2 spoonfuls of sugar, a glazed donut or pastry, and occasionally a glass of orange juice, which, despite its healthy image, is loaded with sugar unless freshly squeezed. We ran a prostate-specific antigen, PSA test, and performed a digital rectal exam, DRE. While his results were within the normal range for his age, the swelling and tenderness were more than what I'd expect from simple aging. I advised him to cut back on sugar, especially the hidden sugars in so-called healthy products like flavored yogurt, energy bars, and even some breads. Within just 3 months of dietary adjustments, Mr. Graham reported far fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom and significant improvement in his discomfort. He was shocked. I didn't know sugar could do that, he told me. Nobody ever said sugar had anything to do with my prostate. That's exactly the problem. There's a glaring disconnect between what we eat and how it affects specific systems in our body, especially as we age. Many seniors are hyper-aware of their cholesterol or blood sugar levels for heart disease and diabetes, but they never stop to consider how those same dietary choices are affecting their prostate health. Inflammation is at the heart of countless chronic conditions: arthritis, cardiovascular disease, and yes, prostate disorders. Chronic prostatitis, long-term inflammation of the prostate, is notoriously difficult to treat. Patients may be prescribed antibiotics or alpha blockers, but unless the root cause is addressed, the inflammation keeps coming back. And for many, that root cause is diet. Sugar isn't just inflaming your prostate directly. It also contributes to weight gain, insulin resistance, and metabolic syndrome, all of which have been linked to more severe BPH symptoms and increased risk of prostate cancer. Fat cells, particularly those in the abdomen, aren't inert. They release inflammatory chemicals called cytokines. These travel through the bloodstream, amplifying systemic inflammation and putting additional pressure on the prostate and surrounding organs. I want to be clear. I'm not saying you need to eliminate every molecule of sugar from your diet. We're all human, and occasional indulgence won't destroy your health. But if you're a man over 60 waking up multiple times a night to urinate, feeling pelvic pressure, or struggling with weak flow, it's worth taking a hard look at what you're eating. Swap out sugary drinks for water or herbal tea. Replace breakfast pastries with high-protein, low-sugar options like eggs, unsweetened Greek yogurt, or steel-cut oats. Read food labels. You'll be amazed at how many everyday products sneak in added sugars: ketchup, salad dressings, even whole wheat bread. Another common culprit? Alcohol. especially beer. Beer contains both alcohol and sugars from grains, a double whammy for prostate inflammation. I've seen patients drastically reduce their prostate related symptoms by simply cutting their alcohol intake in half. There are other lifestyle factors too, like sitting for long periods, poor hydration, and lack of exercise, that can contribute to poor prostate health. But sugar remains the silent, ever present instigator that too often goes ignored. I recently presented this very topic at a senior wellness seminar, and one attendee asked, "If sugar is so bad, why don't more doctors talk about it?" The unfortunate truth is that much of our medical system is reactive, not preventive. Patients come in with symptoms, and we prescribe treatments. But when it comes to dietary education and long-term lifestyle changes, many physicians don't have the time or the training to provide detailed guidance. That's why I'm sharing this now, in no uncertain terms. If you're over 60 and struggling with prostate symptoms, reduce your sugar intake immediately. Track your meals. Cut out the processed snacks. Give your body the chance to heal naturally. And you might be surprised how much relief you feel without popping another pill or scheduling another invasive procedure. I'll leave you with one final story. A 72-year-old man named Richard came to my office with what he called a hopeless prostate. He had already tried medication and even considered surgery. His wife had read about the link between diet and inflammation and insisted he see me before going under the knife. I suggested a 3-month anti-inflammatory diet, low in sugar, rich in leafy greens, healthy fats, and lean proteins. No alcohol, no processed grains, and absolutely no sweetened beverages. Not only did Richard's symptoms improve, but his PSA levels actually dropped. He felt more energetic, he slept better, and he avoided a painful and expensive procedure. There are no miracle cures in medicine, but sometimes the answer is much simpler than we realize. Sugar might seem harmless, but for your prostate, it's anything but. So the next time you reach for that soda, pastry, or candy bar, think twice. Your prostate will thank you.